Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. And yes, you're seeing correctly. We have we've started to integrate video finally into this podcast. It's been a while, and it's going to be a work in progress. But we decided we want to ramp up the production value a little bit since we've been going for coming up to 200 shows now, if you can believe it or not, with just the Scoreboard. And we decided to step it up a little bit. We have some help as well from some more videography and graphically inclined people than ourselves. So hopefully over the next few weeks and months, we're going to be revamping things and bringing some better production value to the viewers, and maybe starting to grow the channel a little bit because we've been stagnating for a while, and we decided to pick it up a little bit. Again.
Well,
Smokey,
I am
how are you doing?
better than Renegades fans right now. Yes, I said it. I am so disappointed with this team right now. It's utterly ridiculous. I'm no longer a Renegades fan. Like, I don't care if I don't have a team in this league now. I really don't care. I'm done. I'm done with the Renegades. Like, they played the worst team in the UFL and absolutely gave up on playing football. We're going to get to this later. I still think Luis Perez has a lot to offer this league, but this team is done. I should have known better than to put my faith into an Oklahoma man coaching a Texas team. But here we are now. I'm done with the Renegades. I think I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say a team that I might put my support behind at this point, but I'm not going to. I'm not supporting any of these teams. I have my thoughts on who's going to win this league, but I'm going to leave it at that. How are you, Alex?
Well, I'm better than Renegades fans, obviously. I've been better than Renegades fans since the start of the season. But I'm not going to let you get away with one thing you said, which is that you're no longer a Renegades fan.
Yes.
Do you remember what I told you after week 2 of this season? When you sternly insisted that they will turn it around. As I told you, this is your last chance for the rest of the season to jump ship. Okay, the Stallions bandwagon is running. We all know it's running. You can join us today or stay with Arlington for the rest of the year. So you don't get to pick another team. You have to pick the Renegades for the rest of the year. Not pick them to win, but root for them.
I don't think I will pick the Renegades to win one single game anymore. I don't care. I'll send you the cans right now. I don't care. I will make good on that bet. I don't want this team to win any more games. I'm done with them. So over it. I want Luis Perez to I was about to say transfer. I want him to get traded to, who would I want him to trade to? Who still has a chance? Like maybe the Panthers or some team that is having a quarterback rotation. Other than one team that's in this league that rotates quarterbacks seemingly every week and still wins no matter who they throw out there. They don't really need a quarterback. I want Luis Perez to go to a team that has a shot. Maybe Danny Etling and EJ Perry, the rotation they got going on. Yeah, let's get Luis Perez into Michigan and yeah, make a run for it.
Michigan's the candidate, right? Yeah. Listen, I offered you the Stallion Club membership at week 2. You can't just switch for the rest of the season now.
Yes,
you have to
I will gladly
sit out the year. That's the way
I'm
it
done
goes.
supporting the Renegades.
Yeah. All right, you picked them to win 6 last week, and now you're not picking them to win a single one.
Yes.
Well, oh wow, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. That would be poetic.
I don't even care. I will pick a new team next year. Yes, absolutely.
And will it be Luis Perez's team next year?
Case Cookers, who is also not doing well. That's always been my second favorite. There's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, though. It seems like every time we talk in Discord off camera or off recording, I bring up some former college great football player, and the next week he seems to pop up in this league as the starter. Happened again with Danny Etling this past week. It is weird the synchronicities that's going on there, but EJ Perry wasn't playing well anyway, and Danny Etling might actually help turn this team around. I know they had a horrible week last week. It is what it is. But I'm kind of excited to see Danny Etling take over there and see if we can do something with this team, because I really like Trey Quinn, but Other than that, yeah, other than that, man, I wanted to go back to just dissing the Renegades again, but I'm going to leave it until we get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear you finally do that. See, EJ Perry put up some decent numbers on the ground, right? And Etling is, I mean, it's just about the same level of mediocre as a passer, it seems. So yeah, the Panthers are the kind of team that would be trading for a quarterback to
Mm-hmm.
possibly make that step into serious like playoff consideration. You're not wrong about that. What if Luis Perez is still with
I'm
the
not going to support
Renegades
the team.
next
I
year?
will hope that Luis Perez does well, but no, I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with Bob Stoops. I always hated Oklahoma. I don't know why. I mean, it was Luis Perez is why I picked this team in the first place. I've always hated Oklahoma. I never had love for Bob Stoops, Mark Stoops, or any of the Stoops. What's the other one? His brother that was the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma after Bob Stoops left. Yeah, I don't like him either. So I should have never picked this team. I kind of enjoy seeing Bob Stoops lose. So we then take that for what it's worth.
4 weeks of suffering
Mm-hmm.
followed by six
Absolutely.
weeks of nihilism.
Yeah.
Great way to
Mm-hmm.
experience the UFL. Amazing. Big fan. Yeah, I can't really sympathize or empathize with that, I must say, as a Stallions fan from day one. It hasn't been too bad of a ride this whole spring football experience. I hope that one day, I hope that one day you will be in those shoes also, and will be able to see reason. You could have picked the Battlehawks. See, that I would have supported because then we're not fans of the same team. But I like the Battlehawks. They're
That's the
like my
reason I
second
didn't pick
favorite.
them
Right? They
though.
were my
Like
XFL team.
I kind of had a disdain for the Battlehawks, but now watching these games play out, I'm kind of growing an affection for the Battlehawks because I think there needs to be that one team out of the XFL that rises up to face the unstoppable giants that is the Stallions. And right now, it looks like the Battlehawks is the number one contender for that spot. If the Brahmas with Quentin Dormady don't jump in and take over, so one of those two teams is going to be the opposition for the Stallions in the championship game. Battlehawks look really serious right now, and I think they have a shot at that.
Battlehawks and Stallions would be, of course, a dream come true championship for me. Game I've wanted to see for many years. Both of my favorite teams. I would love for that to happen. Right now, looking pretty good. Battlehawks to me, clear cut second best team in the league after that thrashing last week. And they get some payback opportunities this week. Also, there's a revenge game on the horizon. But let's take it bit by bit, and I wanna I wanna harp on it one more time because the Renegades are playing the first game on this weekend at
Real
home,
quick before we jump into it,
hosting
our picks
the
last week, I'll go
Brahmas.
through this really quick. You actually picked the Brahmas against the Panthers. I picked the Panthers because I liked EJ Perry's rushing ability, and it didn't quite work out in this game, but Danny Etling had to take over. It wasn't much of a chance, and the Brahmas look really good. Chase Gabers is Jekyll and Hyde out there. But either way, two picks for me were correct, and three for you. We both picked the Renegades, and we should not have. That's a fact. Brings our total 8 for me and 11 for you on the season. Mm-hmm.
11-8.
Yeah.
Okay, well, take it. Yeah, the Brahmas. I think
Yeah,
the
I think
Brahmas
so.
have won me multiple times, right?
Hey, if Quint.
They won me the week multiple times. He kind
Yeah,
of is
yeah,
still in the
exactly.
mindset of
But if
last year's
Quentin
Brahmas.
Dormady, well, he came in last season and had some really good games. He's got a hell of an arm. I like watching Quentin Dormady play. He can be Jekyll and Hyde, as we saw, but in his few starts in these spring leagues, he's actually been kind of phenomenal. Like so, I don't know the whole playbook thing that happened last year, and Whatever happened, if this guy stays in, the Brahmas, I think, have a shot. But that brings us to this. Like I said, Quentin Dormady is playing really well. Let's hope he can keep it up. Cody Latimer is probably the best tight end in this league. That should be his main target. Wade Phillips knows how to put together a defense. There's no doubt about that. He's been around the game 110 years. He should know how to put together a defense. Better than Bob Stoops, who has also been around the game at least 110 years. But Oklahoma man sucks. So yeah, it's Bob Stoops is going to lose this game. Absolutely. I want to see the Renegades lose this game. I want the Brahmas or the Battlehawks to win this division. At this point, I am taking the Brahmas on the road.
Yes, I agree, though I don't like this quarterback development for the Brahmas. It is a little bit unfortunate. Quinton Dormady is an experienced Spring League quarterback. He was on a roster last year, so he does have some veteran presence, which Chase Garbers didn't have. But Garbers had that X factor, right? I called him the Brock Purdy of the UFL because he came from nowhere and he started just winning games. And I think the Brahmas ultimately were a more exciting broad product with Garbers at the helm. Now, is he going to be able to come back potentially late in the season for the playoffs if they were to make it? Maybe. But now it's on probably Dormady, and they also signed Kevin Hogan, who you might remember from way back in the day, from the practice squads of the NFL. To the active roster now in San Antonio. So that's another veteran you can rely on if you need to. But ultimately, the product on the field to me is going to suffer for the Brahmas. They had sort of a recovery week against the Panthers where their defense stepped up. And this week they have a bye week, I believe. Well, it's called the Renegades, but it really is the same thing as we've learned even last week. So Brahmas going to 4-1 and taking the lead, or rather battling the Battlehawks for the lead in the XFL. Renegades are going to sit at 0-5, and even if you don't consider yourself a Renegades fan anymore, I think we should make fun of it every week anyway, at least until they win a game. Also, if they win this week, you are officially
absolutely
impressed.
See, that's just my luck. Now that I want the Renegades to lose, they'll probably start winning. Maybe save me some cans in the end, but I don't see it happening at this point.
Now they're coming back.
I mean, they...
Right. No, that's no. Actually, you know what? Revoking your fandom for the team mid-season should actually just surrender the bet. Like that's abandoning ship. If a general just surrenders and retires, he should not be getting a medal after they happen to win the war. Anyway.
And like I said, I will pay off that bet just to see the Renegades lose at this point because they broke my heart so bad. Like they're still the third best offense in the league despite that horrible outing last week. Against a decent defense, the Roughnecks have had a decent defense, but. Yeah, they let me down so bad because now that the defense finally stepped up slightly. I mean, I think they moved from 8th to 7th in the league last week. The offense absolutely took a dump on the field, and it made me so mad that I don't want any part of it. I'll pay it off just to watch them lose.
Well. I mean, you have a history of doing this, right? Of jinxing teams. You do it with the Falcons. You pick them to win, they lose. You pick them to lose, they win. It happened. I don't know how to explain it.
The Stars,
You had one good season with the Stars in the first USFL season.
Yeah, took us all the way to the championship game. Yeah, but these last two seasons have not went well for that, for my fandom.
Didn't go too great. Taking the Brahmas here, I think we both agree on that. Here's another one that we're both going to agree on as I peer into my crystal ball. Stallions and Roughnecks.
The question here is who's going to get the start at quarterback because, listen, the Stallions are not invincible, in my opinion, after watching that game. That was a close game, and they needed every second of that game to win. The Defenders are not a great team. They feel like the Andy Dalton line for this team. They feel like the middle of the pack. and they took the fight to the Birmingham Stallions. I know a lot of people are going to say it was in a hell of a storm. There was a lightning delay and there was rain so bad, but the defenders were also playing in that game in the same storm. So Ricky Person and CJ Marable split the running backs position in that, and Amari Rogers looked really good. Jay Sternberger didn't have his best game, but he's still a threat at any time. Skip Holtz, to win that game, probably is still burning effigies and kneeling at his altar to the Dark Lord. Yeah, so he came away with the win there. The Roughnecks have really nothing to brag about because it was the Renegades and they did not want to play that game. Although I have been saying all season that this team might look better when Mark Thompson gets back. They split the running backs, the runs in this one with TJ Pleasure and Mark Thompson. But he got the touchdown, Mark Thompson did. And I think maybe if they go to the bell cow, if I can say that, the bell cow back position for Mark Thompson, then I think this team is in really good shape running on the ground. Reed Sinnett he's okay. He's probably middle of the pack too. Curtis Johnson has nothing to brag about though. Stallions are going to easily win this one on the road.
Yeah, can't disagree with that either. The Roughnecks do have one thing to look forward to, as you mentioned, or to be happy about. That is Mark Thompson, right? The touchdown machine. He last year with the Gamblers, he scored more touchdowns than he played in games, and he scored the game winner this time as well. So as soon as he takes the field back, the Roughnecks, they are taking a step up. I mean, his absence was definitely noticeable. Now they're facing a much bigger challenge in the Stallions. You said the Stallions they're not invincible, and you're extremely correct in that, and they haven't been all year. And it's something that unnerves me a little bit because I think that a good team like the Battlehawks or the Brahmas on the right day have a chance against Birmingham if they can exploit their biggest weakness. And the Stallions' biggest weakness, bar none, has been red zone offense. The whole year, when they get into the 25, the 20, they just don't score touchdowns. They kick field goals, the whole up and down the block. They had that shootout, I think, in week 2 where they kicked like 5 field goals. They went to the red zone 6 times and scored 1 touchdown. If you can play as prolific of an offense as they do and take so much time off the clock, it works more often than not. But man, it'll break your back if you're facing a good team on a good day. So that is the Achilles heel for the Birmingham Stallions at the moment. And I think ultimately the decision of quarterback comes down to that situation, right? Which one of these guys is going to be more deadly in the red zone? Last week it was all Matt Corral, and he did score the touchdown when he needed to, but it was closer than you wanted it to be. The defenders had a chance last second, and the defense had to step up. When you have an offense like Birmingham, you would prefer to play from ahead more clearly than you used to. And yes, the weather played a role, and everyone left by halftime, and like the stadium was empty, and it wasn't great. No one wanted to really play, but none of that's an excuse for potentially squandering games where you're outclassing your opponent everywhere, and you just can't close when you get into the red zone. So that I am concerned about. However, not this week. I will move my concern. I will adjourn all my concerns about the Stallions to another week when they play someone like the Battlehawks or the Brahmas. Right now, the Roughnecks, although better with Mark Thompson, should not pose competition, even if it is in Houston for the Stallions. So 5-0, keeping the win streak alive, my Birmingham Stallions. Now, speaking of revenge games and the Battlehawks, they are this week playing the DC Defenders in DC, and that's a storied XFL rivalry.
Oh, it really is. I mean, in the very short history of the XFL, this is the game to watch this week. This will be the showdown. I really feel like the Battlehawks have the edge. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they only play that well in St. Louis, but I think they absolutely have the edge here. A.J. McCarron was on fire outside of the one interception that he threw. You know who's really on fire is Jacob Sailors broke out as the running back number 1 for that team. I know they've alternated who takes the load each week, but Jacob Saylor's looked phenomenal. He had a 57-yard run, adding to his stats. He one of the few running backs in this league that has went over 100 yards in a game. I guess the biggest story, though, way bigger than that, is Jahcour Pearson is back, and now they have a 3 wide receiver battle going on who's going to be the number one. Everybody thinks it's going to be Jahcour Pearson now that he's back, and he showed out on the field. He 10 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown with a 24-yard. Dude, 10 catches on 10 targets. That's absolutely amazing. This guy is lightning. Yeah. Jake Sutherland got a touchdown also. Anthony Beck has this team firing, and now that the Stallions do not look invincible anymore, like I said, I'm kind of growing an affection for the Battlehawks. I'm not going to put my support behind them, although I kind of am by saying that. Either way, on the other side... I know. Exactly.
You're not allowed to.
Exactly. Anyway, on the other side, we discussed this game just a minute ago. The Defenders came very close to beating the Stallions, but it doesn't mean that they're really a great team. It's just the Stallions had a chink in the armor that the Defenders were able to exploit. Does the Battlehawks have that? I don't think so. A.J. McCarron doesn't throw downfield as much as you would think he does. Just by watching the games, you're like, oh, he's going downfield a lot. But I looked at the stats, and he's really not. I don't have them in front of me, but he's going to have to do it here, I believe. Yeah, there's this should easily be won. It does kind of bother me that it's in D.C., and everybody is talking about how the Battlehawks are only good at home. But they have to win this if they want to get to the Stallions, and then they're going to have to run through the Brahmas eventually. But they should easily take this one, and I'll take the Battlehawks on the road.
See, what the Battlehawks do have is the biggest home field advantage in the league by far, with about twice as many viewers or attendance as any other team. So that's a big deal. And if I had to identify a weakness or potential Achilles heel for the Battlehawks, it's hard to say because it's hard to exploit, but the offense is very timing heavy. It's a very, very rhythmic offense. So what you're going to get from this team is something that either works to perfection or it's not going to work at all, especially in passing offense. And you saw it work to perfection last week. And as we've talked so much about, this is a core that's been playing together for a few years now with McCarron, Butler, Marcel Aitman. They've been, they've had time to develop that chemistry. And now Pearson, of course, finally playing in an acceptable uniform back in the XFL is just adding another X factor to that offense. But they are very timing based. A lot of the routes are, if you're a step too short, a 25-yard completion will turn into an interception. On any given play. That's the weakness, if we can call it that, of the Battlehawks team, the Battlehawks offense. If you have an opportunistic zone defense that can exploit those kind of things, if you can get to the quarterback faster than his internal clock would like him to, then you have a chance to kick that offense, kick McCarron out of rhythm, kick the receivers out of rhythm, kick them off their routes, and then the house of cards can sort of collapse for the Battlehawks. But then again, the offense is built in a way that it's very, very difficult to do that because you have so many good players. So to me, I'm taking the Battlehawks to also win. They're, to me, the clear-cut second best team in the league now after that showing. They started off slowly, but they caught their rhythm quickly, and now they're profiting from just that immense experience of all these veterans that have been playing together or are playing in their third year together now. Is really, really paying off for them. Similar as it is for the Stallions as well, even though they have a quarterback rotation going on. The core is the same, and after a while, that becomes a very big advantage for some of these teams. So to me, I'm taking the Battlehawks to go 4-1. So will the Brahmas, of course, so it'll be probably between those two. I think it's not reaching too far to suggest that it's going to be Battlehawks and Brahmas for the XFL Championship later this summer. Presumably that the Renegades don't make a miraculous comeback, as we seem to both have given up on believing by now. But Defenders, they played a good game. Jordan Tamu played maybe his best game, even though they lost. but he played his cleanest game. The Stallions are really good. I mean, if they won, they could have won, right? All they needed was a field goal or a defensive stop in the end. Because the Stallions ended up making the game-winning drive. So you make a stop there, and we're talking about first of all, we have the Defenders at 3-1, and we're talking about them as maybe the best team in the XFL or up there together with the Battlehawks. But of course, they lost. It came up short, but they have something to prove. I mean, this is the biggest game of the season if you're DC, because if you lose, you're a big, big long shot to make the playoffs. If you win, you're top of the division probably, or at least second to the Brahmas, and you're fully in the race. So, big game for the Defenders. I do believe in the Battlehawks. A little bit more firepower, so I'm going to take them to win. And lastly, but no, it is least. It is least. The Panthers and the Showboats on Sunday night to close out. This is the second week in a row that the least watchable game is somehow the prime time
Renegades game last week. I mean, I guess when they were making the schedule, they weren't planning on these two teams being as bad as they are at this point. Although, didn't you mention that someone who does power rankings happened to have the Panthers at number 2 in the power rankings last week? There is... Yeah, I think he's he's not someone. Old, he's kind of young, you know. Yeah.
Famous for making interesting picks concerning spring football.
He's going to see this one day and be like, why do you hate me?
This is going to be the first episode of the Scoreboard that he's ever going to watch, and it's going to be that.
But anyway, the Panthers are not as good as we thought. And although Danny Etling is a much better passer, he's not as fun to watch. He's not as explosive on the ground. He's dang near immobile, to tell you the truth. But E.J. Perry was always fun to watch, but that game was just bad. Overall, they didn't have a chance. I like Trey Quinn, as I've mentioned so many times, and I want to see him do well. I just don't have a lot of faith in him. But also on the other side, with Case Cookus out and Troy Williams in, I don't have faith in that team to do anything. So, Vinny Papale is explosive. They're their best wide receiver, and I like Sage Surratt at tight end. But I don't know, and I've never been a huge fan of John DeFilippo. I've just been a fan of Case Cookus, and that's the only reason I had any affection toward the Showboats in the first place. But I really don't know who I want to pick for this team. You know what? I think it's a 50-50 split. Running back definitely goes to the Panthers. Matt Colburn and Wes Hills is better, in my opinion, than Darius Victor and whoever else you want to throw out there at running back. But it feels like a 50-50 split, so I will just give 3 points to the home team and take the Showboats here.
Have you heard anything about Cookus' injury?
No.
How bad is it? Is he going to be missing time?
I haven't either, but I
didn't hear anything after
Troy Williams. But, I mean, Cookus wasn't playing that well to begin with, although I think after Cookus went out, if they would have just ran the ball, they probably could have pulled that game off in the end. So, I don't know, maybe if they keep Darius Victor out there and give him the load of the work. I don't see Troy Williams hitting Vinny Papale and Sage Surratt, at a level that's really going to turn the tides in this game. But if they use Darius Victor in the right way, I think they can win this game. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it matters if it's Case Cookus or Troy Williams at this point.
See, this stuff, I said it's the least watchable game, which is probably true, but it's also the hardest one to pick, to me, at least. So maybe that means it is exciting and I should be watching it. Should be paying close attention. I think we'll have our weekly disagreement here. I'm going to give it to the Panthers because, first of all, home field advantage does not exist in Memphis. I mean, no one goes to Showboats games. For some reason, I don't know why, there should be fans from the original USFL interested in seeing their Showboats because they were a good team in the original USFL. They had Reggie White. They were a classic, and I'm sure a lot of people in Memphis remember that team. But they haven't lived up to it just yet. That's maybe the biggest concern or biggest downside we can say why the engagement just isn't there. But I want to know what's up with the quarterback situation. And if we're saying, okay, Case Cookers might not start this week, I just haven't gotten my hands on any kind of news updating about where he's at, how bad the injury is. Is he out for the season, out for a week, or is he just ready to start again? I didn't hear anything. If anyone has an update on that, please let me know in the comments. I wasn't able to find something. But I don't have a lot of faith in this team if they lose their most veteran player. And that's who Case Cookers is in terms of spring league football. He's the sort of steadiness in that team. He was good with the Stars first year. Injury concern there, by the way, as well. But he's played in every spring season the last 3 years, and he's been the backbone around whom the team was built. If he's out, I don't trust a seamless recovery. So I will give it to the Panthers, the smothering defense that the Panthers still have and have had and retained from last year. Against the Brahmas, the offense just could not keep up. But usually, the Panthers' defense keeps them in games, and even giving up 19 points is fine in a league that allows you to score like 9 points at a time. With the extra point being as it is in this league, so giving up 19 points is alright. You can still win that game. Offensively, yeah, you pick a quarterback and. I would probably go E.J. Perry still. I mean, yeah, he's not a great passer, but he can really make it happen on the ground, and that's oftentimes enough. 2 or 3 back-breaking plays if your defense can make some stops. I'm going to trust the Panthers to get it done here against the Showboats. It's kind of the uncertainty battle here. Both of those teams are in a lot of uncertainty. Boats, what's up with the quarterback? Same goes for the Panthers. And in times of uncertainty, you look to what's most reliable, and what's most reliable to me is the defense of the Michigan Panthers. This is Frank Inda, Breland Speaks. Those are guys that are veterans, that are candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. Last year and this year are balling out again, and I trust them to make the impact and to make the difference in a game where not a lot of things are certain. So I will take the Panthers. We have our disagreement. Finally. Last
in the battle of the backups.
At long last, we have our disagreement. Now, here's one thing. The battle, yeah, I guess so. Who even is the backup though, for the Panthers?
E.J. Perry felt like the backup from the beginning. So, E.J. Perry?
He felt like the starter to me.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
we saw
it's
him
weird to say.
run a lot last season in the little bit of playing time he had. But I always thought Danny Etling was the better quarterback from the beginning, though. And I don't know. I didn't see anything about the injuries or whatever. I don't know why Etling wasn't playing from the beginning. I'd have to look back and see if there was some news about that. But, yeah, like I said, it was fun to watch E.J. Perry. But Danny Etling is absolutely the better pocket passer. No doubt about it. So, yeah, so that kind of works against me picking the Showboats there because... Case Cookers is their mobile quarterback, and if he's out, we're going to see Troy Williams. Man, maybe I picked the wrong team here. I'll stick with it. I'll stick with it.
Oh, you think so? 4 weeks in, you think you might have picked the wrong team at the start of the season, huh? That's real interesting. I feel like
I was specifically talking about this pick, though, picking the Showboats over the Panthers, yeah. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
No, well, I can go.
I thought you were still on about the Renegades.
Absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely picked the wrong team. They are horrible. Yeah. They are bad. They are coached by an Oklahoma man, and they are from Texas. So, yes, I absolutely picked the wrong team. Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's 3 things already. One thing we need to address here, which we were just ripping into him a little bit, but I will give RJ Young some credit. Right, we've been doing power rankings for 4 weeks. He has made the perfect power rankings for week 4. I will give him a lot of credit. So all I have to do to give him my power rankings is I have to read off his because he finally nailed it. So Stallions 1. We all know that. Everyone knows that. Battlehawks at 2. Impressive game. Same record as the Brahmas, but very impressive game. Looking like a more convincing team right now, the favorites to win the XFL. Brahmas at 3. They're the only other team that has won 3 games. Defenders, to me, even though they lost narrowly, it was to the Stallions. They fought valiantly over the Panthers at this point. Jordan Ta'amu is getting better as the season is going on, and the Panthers' quarterback troubles are sort of still in limbo, and nothing's really happening. So defenders 4, Panthers 5. Still going to put the Boats at 6. The Roughnecks won, but it was only against the Renegades. So Boats at 6, Roughnecks 7. The Arlington Renegades. Only
yes, they are
undefeated
absolutely
team,
undefeated, and there are no feats for them to achieve at this point. Man, I was going to applaud that because I thought it was exactly. The only thing is, I have the Panthers at 5, the Roughnecks at 6, and the Showboats at 7, and absolutely Renegades at 8. So there's no doubt about it. So it was so close. I just flip flopped the Roughnecks and Showboats. I think the Roughnecks, they shut down.
Fair.
The third-ranked offense in the league. I mean, that's something in their favor. So, I don't think number 8. They're definitely not number 8 anymore.
Oh wow! They beat up on the bottom of the barrel.
Game,
wow.
I want to say the Roughnecks were at number 2 in the league in offense, behind the Stallions. Overall,
it's still the worst team in the league.
Their defense is just that good, though.
Period.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I guess they kind of got blown out by the Brahmas, so I don't know. I'm looking for some way to say that the Roughnecks are not the worst team in the division or in the league, but I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
No, the Renegades are the worst team in the league, but in the division, yeah, they have to get Roughnecks. I mean, both teams are largely undefeated, but the Boats did beat Houston head-to-head in week 1, so that's the
Either way, I still feel like right now, this point in the season, the Roughnecks are a little better than the Showboats, especially if Case Cookis is going to be out. But yeah, that was pretty good power rankings. Mm-hmm.
Those are good rankings, yeah. It's starting to become clear now. And by the way, both of these teams are a win away from the playoffs. That's the crazy part, because the second best team in the USFL is 2-2, and that's the Panthers with all their struggles. So Houston or Memphis, they win a game, they might they're in the playoff hunt. Absolutely are.
It's crazy to say, but yeah.
That is crazy to say, but everything is possible for them. The only team that's really out of it is the Renegades.
Are they mathematically eliminated, though?
They're done, but not mathematically, but logically. Rationally, yeah, they're kind of done. Of course, they're only technically 3 games behind, the number 2 and number 1 team in their division. And there are 6 games left, so it is mathematically possible at least for 2 more weeks. But yeah, in terms of they're eliminated by common sense. I would say
with that. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah. That's good to hear. It happened. It took only 4 weeks.
You put faith in an offense, knowing that the defense is bad, and you're like, okay, well they can ride off that offense, right? And then the offense craps the bed, and you're like, oh God, it's sickening to watch. That game was depressing.
Yeah. I can imagine. But hey, you came out better on the other side. You made a realization.
Mm-hmm. Now, it will be fun if we get Stallions and Battlehawks in the championship game, because I will be throwing my support behind the underdogs. And you know who the underdogs are. I don't know. If the Stallions keep playing like last week, they may be the underdogs.
Honestly, it's not that big. Like, okay, right now it's a 2-horse race, and there's no pun intended at all. But it's a 2-horse race for in terms of betting odds. Stallions are favored, but the Battlehawks are much closer to the Stallions than the third team is to the Battlehawks to win the league. That's how impressed teams are with the odds makers are with St. Louis. There is not a big difference. Not a big difference. No. Stallions are plus 150. Battlehawks plus 250. Brahmas at 3,700.
And no love for Quentin Dormady.
Yeah. So you're really picking those two against the field, and those two are definitely.
Maybe worth throwing a few dollars on the Brahmas, though.
The Browns. Well, see, the unfortunate thing for the Browns is they have to beat the Battlehawks and the Stallions to win, right? That's the downside, right? The Stallions are favored probably mostly now because the USFL division is weaker in general, right? Their conference championship is going to be easier compared to the XFL. Whoever's playing in the XFL will be two good teams. The USFL has a chance of beating the Stallions and
because
a bottom
so
14.
many people talked throughout the past couple of seasons that the XFL is just the inferior division. I don't know if that's true. Now that we have XFL, yeah, I think so.
They're pretty.
Now that
they're
we have
pretty
XFL versus USFL, it's panning out that I don't think the XFL was the weaker league.
They reordered some of the rosters. I think the product we saw on field last year, the USFL, was just a little bit better. That's also because I like their rule system more. Right now, of course, you have the best team comes from the USFL, the worst team comes from the XFL. But the second and third best team are both from the XFL. The second and third worst team are from the USFL. And then wherever you rank the Panthers and the Defenders, they're very close. Like the divisions on average are very close together, which is good to see. That was the intention of the reshuffle,
absolutely.
And that's
it's good to see, man. This league is getting exciting. It definitely is.
Best spring football we've seen ever, pretty sure. That's absolutely. Can't wait to see more. We have an exciting week. Now, to everyone watching, since we're doing this little bit of revamp, there might be some difficulties here, right? With the audio quality, the video quality, the editing. A lot of things are getting rebranded and overhauled on this channel, and it'll take us probably a month or two to sort of get the finer details fixed, get everything set the way we wanted to, because we're sort of doing it as we go. But if you like what we are doing, you like this rebranding idea and the little bit more effort that we're putting into everything, please show us that by putting a like on the video and showing some engagement. Leave us a comment. It's a lot of motivation to see that, people are liking the stuff, and that'll allow us to work harder and to make things a better product. Smokey, are you interested at all in talking about the NFL draft? Maybe not in this particular video. But, do you feel like we should recap it, or Or do you have like an idea or something?
Yeah. I mean,
I was thinking we could make use of that,
or maybe even some highlights of the other rounds. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. We can do. I was thinking we could do grades. We could do first round grades.
Let's do that.
I feel like. So maybe we'll get together
Throwback
on the
to
weekend
our
and
first year of this podcast. Up there. That was one of the first episodes we ever did. Yeah. Maybe the first.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It is. It might have been. It's been a long time. Okay, we'll end it with one note talking about the NFL draft because it's coming up tomorrow. First pick overall.
Oh, it's going to be Caleb.
Caleb Williams
I don't
versus
think there's any doubt about it. Bears have to have a quarterback, right?
Let's go with Caleb.
Maybe Jaden Daniels. Yeah,
it'll be a quarterback.
Absolutely.
It'll be a quarterback.
Jaden Daniels, maybe. I really doubt it, though. I mean, I know a lot of people are starting to give some helium behind J.J. McCarthy. I don't see it happening, though.
Oh, yeah. I heard a report a couple of days ago. I don't know if this was like serious or not, because there's as many parody accounts as there are real news accounts now on social media and on Twitter and everything. So you have to double and triple check everything. But the word is that the Bears are down to Williams and McCarthy for the first overall pick. If I were in their shoes, I wouldn't pick either. I can tell you that. But that seems to be what it is. To me, I would go Jaden Daniels. To me, Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the draft. I've come to that realization. Caleb Williams is obviously the most talented quarterback in the draft. Man, I don't like his mental. I don't like his off the field. I'm sorry. He's a 13-year-old in the body of an adult. I don't know if he can handle the pressure in the NFL. I don't think he can. I mean, the guy breaks down crying when he loses a college game. Goes to hug his mom. I mean, literally. Nothing wrong with that, right? But that's not how you earn your respect, and that's not how you that's not how you withstand NFL pressure because it's different. So he has a lot to learn on the mental side of things. And that's not a character I want to invest my first overall pick behind. If he can get that under control and work, with the psychologists and the mental coaches and get it under grips, yeah, he's going to be the highest upside and the best quarterback in the draft. But such a stacked class, I will take the slightly lower ceiling, much more secure option. Jaden Daniels would be my pick.
If I was in the Bears' position, it is really tough. I mean, the world is pressuring you into taking Caleb. And like you're saying about his mental state and how soft he is, if you want to say that, people are going to rag him in the locker room. When he shows up with the pink fingernails and the pink phone case and the backpack and all that, people are going to pick at him. If he can take that or not, I don't know. Because like you said, he definitely has an emotional state that would leave you wondering if he can handle it. But I think they take Caleb Williams here because if they don't and Caleb Williams does become something phenomenal for a different team, they're never going to hear the end of it. But then again, that's what the Bears do, right? They always pick the wrong quarterback.
That's what they do. Trubisky, when there was Watson and Mahomes available,
Jay Cutler, like they always pick the wrong guy, and here we go again. So
they do. Who's the wrong guy? Who's the highest chance of being that wrong guy this year?
The highest chance. Okay, I'll say it. I think it's J.J. McCarthy. If they do go with J.J. McCarthy, I think that's the wrong guy. Yeah, it better work, yeah. Because he doesn't have the stats to make him look like a first-round pick. So you better be really sure if you go with him. I mean, that just feels like championship bias to me anyway. I talk about that every draft on this show, that there's this championship bias. Like, whoever's in the championship gets the most attention, and he's going to go way higher than he should be. And it happens almost every year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is not wrong. How many quarterbacks first round? Last question.
I don't know that it's a new record.
What
was
the
83?
Record?
Was it 6? I don't think we get 6 unless Michael Penix can creep up there also. And Bo Nix feels like he could drop into the second round. I'm going to say 4. Yeah. You think? What do you think? 5?
4. Wow. I'm thinking 5 at absolute minimum 5.
Wow,
5 to 7.
Really?
I think we get 6.
Wow.
I think we get 4 in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get Caleb for sure. We get Jaden Daniels. We get Drake May. We get JJ. We're gonna get probably Bo Nix. And then Penix? Yeah, it's possible.
I feel like
we're
missing somebody out. Who are we missing? Yeah.
We got Bo Nix, right?
I mean, there's your 5.
Let's see,
but...
who are we missing? Yeah. I feel like there's 1 or 2 more.
Oh, was it 6?
Yeah, isn't that 6? Right. Oh, that was 6.
I just feel like.
Yeah, that's 6. Yeah, Williams, Daniels, May. That's 3, and then McCarthy and Nix, which I believe should make it in. That's 5, and then Michael Penix would make it 6.
Make it into the first round, then we at least tie the record. I just feel like they're both dropping to the second round.
Then we have 6. Yeah.
I think a lot of people. I would absolutely take Michael Penix. I believe in Michael Penix. I think he can be something on the right team with the right coach. Now, he could also be a big failure also if he's thrown out there way too early and doesn't have a coach that really believes in him or something, But I think he could be something. And I would, if I was drafting at the end of the first round and I needed a quarterback, I would be taking Michael Penix. I wouldn't be afraid of that. Wow, you really...
He's there at the end of the first. I've seen mocks where you're at the end of the first and you want a quarterback, you have to reach for Rattler.
Wow, because that Penix would make 7 if Rattler makes it in also. There's the record right there. Rattler's got to be that next guy in line. Nah, as much fun as I've made of Spencer Rattler because of the Oklahoma thing and the Lincoln Riley thing, I really think with the right situation,
Yeah.
he could also be something in the NFL. I don't disbelieve in Spencer Rattler. And so it's fun to pick on him because he was an Oklahoma kid, and Lincoln Riley. It's always fun to pick on Lincoln Riley quarterbacks.
That's right. Yeah. I'm agnostic to Spencer Rattler because, he could be Baker.
That's my
he's
comp.
All right,
Is Baker Mayfield.
Get it together and be all right.
Yeah.
Of course. What else would be a comp? Yeah. But Baker was polarizing then, so I've learned from not going into any extreme direction with a guy like Baker or Rattler. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that he will be in the NFL and he'll be playing football, and the outcome is going to be interesting no matter what it is.
Spencer could
the
also
most politically
be
correct
this
way I
year's
can
Hendon
say it.
Hooker, and what did he
That's
fall
what
to?
it's gonna be.
Third, I believe, right? Didn't he go into third, and then Stetson Bennett went into fourth, I believe. So Spencer could be that guy that falls through the third.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It really is.
Man, it's just
receivers
stack
galore.
class.
Oh man,
Big quarterback class. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, we said that it could be pick number 10, like the top 10 could all
QBs and wide receivers and one tight end.
offensive players, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Quarterbacks and pass catchers.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe an offensive lineman. That's a possibility. We should do grading. I think the more we talk about it, we should grade those picks when they're done. I'd love to see it. All right, we will work on setting that up then. I will repeat it once again. Drop us a like. Please show some engagement to demonstrate that you like what we are doing, and then we can expand the whole operation a little bit. More videos, better graphics, face cams, obviously production quality. So we'll be working on all those things. If you've noticed, we've already redesigned the channel art a little bit. We're still working on that as well, trying out some different things, just freshening things up a little bit. So thank you for your support.
That's it for this week.
And Smokey, do you have anything to add for this week?
Deuces.
For the first time in person. We will see you in the next one.